We might be down, but we are never out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host, Tisham, my channel where you get reviews, analysis, predictions on hot takes, and all things Raptors, as well as some NBA. So the Raptors played a back-to-back tonight against the Houston Rockets, the 81st game of the season. And it was actually not a bad game to watch. And it was kind of a comeback. So without further ado, let's talk Raptor versus Houston Rockets. So the Raptors come out again, just like they did against the Philadelphia 76ers. A bit dry, and Houston is, they're. I've always said that if they can figure out how to play defense, those young guys, they have the ability to, put up points, and that's what they did. The Raptors couldn't buy a bucket. It was going back, like it wasn't really going back and forth. It was basically they just come out of the gates kicking our ass all over the place, and defense looks really bad. Our offense is not going. And they eventually take a 24-point lead. I think it was either in the first quarter or mid-second quarter. And it seems like this game might be a blowout because the Raptors it felt like one of those games where the Raptors are playing the record as well as, the the season's pretty much done. So this game doesn't even matter for us as much as it should. So, the Houston Rockets get that lead, but the Raptors, after a while, Pascal decides to say, hey, hell no. I ain't losing this game, especially to the Houston Rockets. And he decides to do what he's been doing. He carries us. He starts going downhill. He starts assisting the ball. Thaddeus Young coming off of the bench is doing well. Everybody, there was a lot of players that played today, and everybody's coming in, giving energy, doing a little bit of contribution, even though they still don't have that, the energy you would have in a playoff game. And the Raptors, I think they cut it down to about 8 or 10 by the end of first half. And then by late third quarter, we tied at 78. But then the Houston Rockets go on an 8-0 run, and they put themselves back up by, I think, 10 eventually. And it seems like the Raptors are just going to give up on it. But, I've been saying this in all of my videos. The Raptors are not a team that give up, regardless of the opponent they play. So they decide to put clamp up on the defense. They decide to make sure that, Houston is not scoring because Kevin Porter Jr. had it going today. And Pascal is going, Gary Trent Jr. puts up 10 points in the third quarter and then 9 points in the fourth quarter. And, Scotty Barnes decides to step in there. Thad Young is playing damn well. And the Raptors eventually tie the game at 105. We had the lead at 105, and then Houston tied the game at 105. And there's about, I think, 18 seconds left on the clock or something. Gary Trent Jr. gets the ball. He goes down into the paint with all the big boys and gets a floater to go and puts the Raptors up by 2 points. There's 4 seconds left on the clock, and basically Pascal is on Alperen Şengün after Houston Rocket calls a timeout. And it seems like they want to go to the bucket with Alfred. And, just Siakam freaking locks that man down and makes him take a bad shot, gets a rebound, and the Raptors win this game. There were a lot of highlight plays because there wasn't much defense played in this game, honestly, until like third or fourth quarter. And there was a breakout where, Pascal passes it to Scotty Barnes, who does a one-hand slam right in Houston Rockets face. There was a poster where Gary Trent, on the next possession after a timeout, Gary Trent Jr. comes down the lane and posterizes. I have no idea who that guy was on the Houston Rockets. So there were a lot of highlight plays. There was a sweet block, rundown block by Pascal Siakam that led to a dunk on the other side. And, it was against the Houston Rockets, so you can't count too much into it. They're a young team. They're learning how to play. And like I said in the start of this video, and I've always said it, if they can learn to play even mediocre defense, they will be a competitive team until they get to the point where they have a system where they learn to play with each other, and they will be a team to be reckoned with, kind of like Memphis Grizzlies. It's just they don't play any defense, man. Honestly, they tried today, and they show resiliency, but Raptors were too much for them, especially given the veteran like Pascal, the way he's been playing, the way he's been carrying the team, and killers like Gary Trent Jr., who always show up in the big moments, and it was just too much for us. And veterans like Thaddeus Young, too, who knew exactly what to do with these younger guys, how to push them underneath the paint and get the buckets that he wanted to get. So it was one of those games. I think there was, you can't say much about the key takeaways because it was just a continuation of what we did yesterday. And honestly, playing against Houston, You know, you can't take too much away because again, that's not a team that plays defense. But one key takeaway is like I've been saying in all of my games, now seeing it come back against the Houston Rockets, is that the Raptors are never out of the game, regardless of what we think, regardless of how much we're being blown out of. It seems like this team will continue to fight till the end, regardless of who they are playing. They just don't like to lose anymore, and that is a good thing going into the playoffs because the Raptors want to be that resilient group, never put their head down, and I think that has a lot to do with Pascal and Freddie because those are the guys that never do, and everybody else just climbs on their back and gets us going. And the crowd, second key takeaway, the crowd is revving up in Toronto, man. The way our fans are cheering us on, it is motivating the hell out of these players. It is making them feel like they are invincible, and that is something we will need in the playoffs, especially if we end up somehow, if Philadelphia loses the next two games and we win our next game, we're gonna be tied with them, and we have the series in the standings, and we have the season series against them, so we end up at the fourth spot. And if we can get the home court advantage, Joel Embiid, James Harden will not know what the hell hit them. So that would be amazing, and keep it up, guys, for the crowd. You guys are doing a damn good job, and it is going to help us in the long run. Sorry, guys. The last key takeaway I have for you guys in this video is that the Raptors are being considerably underrated by everybody in this league. And today, by Chicago losing and us winning, we are going to stick to the fifth spot. So most likely we will be playing Philadelphia 76ers. And it seems like people are underrating the Raptors because, we don't have that star power. Who said we don't have the star power? We have two All-Stars we have an All-NBA player in Pascal. We have two All-Stars in Pascal and Freddie. And we have possibly the Rookie of the Year. So this team is one to be messing with. And you're going to get, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in my pre-playoff video. But people better start respecting our team because we deserve it. We are a juggernaut. And honestly, the one thing I would say is I kind of want the Raptors to lose the next game so our luck kind of gets reset. I'm one of those big believers that, if a team is winning constantly, they're going to lose at the wrong moment. And hopefully I'm wrong in that, and I don't believe, it doesn't impact the Raptors. But I would just, honestly, I would like, possibly everybody getting rested against New York, especially Pascal. Sorry, guys. And, everybody else, Gary Trent just continuing to play, just have that one big game by himself. And going to the playoffs. If we lose, that means our luck gets reset. We got to rebuild. So possibly that could mean that we win the next four. You never know. We might just win the next four without losing anything. But I just a superstitious fan. That's something I wouldn't mind happening. But the Raptors are looking damn good. The crowd is behind us, and we are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And stay tuned for my pre-playoff, video after the season ends, because I will be giving my desire as well as the reality that we face as Raptors fans in the playoffs. So that's all I have for you guys for this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the content. I know Houston Rockets, I can't give you much content on that. They're freaking Houston Rockets. But let's see what happens. Playoffs are right around the corner, and the Raptors are playing out of their minds. So if you love the Raptors, hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.